The lecture hall aboard the Galactic Naval Academy's orbital station hummed with the soft vibration of environmental processors. Kivin adjusted his tertiary ocular lens, scanning the assembled cadets with practiced ease. As a Threll instructor with over 40 standard cycles of xenobiology experience, he prided himself on his comprehensive knowledge of the galaxy's most dangerous fauna. Today, Kivin began, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into standard, we examine Class 9 Deathworld predators, specifically those native to Sol 3, colloquially known as Earth. The holographic display flickered to life, projecting a massive ursine creature. Several cadets from low-gravity worlds instinctively recoiled. The Ursus arctos horribilis, or grizzly bear, Kivin continued. Mass, up to 360 kilograms. Bite force, 1,160 pounds per square inch. Running speed, 55 kilometers per hour. Note the combination of strength, speed, and aggression, hallmarks of apex predators from high-gravity deathworlds. Anna Chen sat in the back row, her expression carefully neutral. She'd learned during her first week at the academy that showing too much reaction to these lectures only invited uncomfortable questions. The human cadet kept her augmented interface active, ostensibly taking notes while actually reviewing tactical simulations for her next combat assessment. Kivin cycled through his presentation. A saltwater crocodile, a Komodo dragon, a hippopotamus that one caused genuine alarm among the aquatic species cadets. But the true apex of Sol 3's Deathworld evolution, Kivin said, his vocal sac inflating with emphasis, is this species. The hologram shifted to display a human, specifically a persistence hunter from Earth's Paleolithic era, running across an African savanna. Anna's attention snapped to the display. Homo sapiens, Kivin announced. The human. Many of you have encountered the 73 human cadets currently enrolled in the academy. You may find them unimpressive. This is a grave tactical error. He manipulated the hologram, overlaying biometric data. Observe. Bone density 3 times that of comparable species from standard gravity worlds. Muscle fiber composition optimized for both explosive power and endurance. A skeletal structure that functions as both armor and weapon. Humans can deliver kinetic strikes with their reinforced knuckles, elbows, knees, and skulls. A Quellian cadet raised a delicate appendage. Instructor, surely you exaggerate. Cadet Chen is sitting right there. She appears quite fragile. Kivin's eye stalk swiveled toward Anna. Cadet Chen, would you care to provide a demonstration? Anna stood slowly, her 1.7-meter frame drawing attention from the assembled students. In a room full of beings ranging from the massive Corthians to the diminutive but dense Peckites, she appeared utterly average. What kind of demonstration, instructor? She asked. Kivin gestured to a stress test cylinder near the podium, a standard academy device used to measure grip strength across species. If you would. Anna descended the steps and gripped the cylinder. The holographic display showed her biometrics, heart rate steady at 62 beats per minute, breathing calm, muscle tension minimal. She squeezed. The cylinder's pressure gauge climbed. 300 newtons, 500, 750. Several cadets murmured in surprise as it passed 1,000 newtons, well beyond what her frame suggested possible. Adequate, Kivin said. Now, Cadet Chen, you've just completed a 10-kilometer run in full combat gear, engaged in a firefight and sustained minor injuries. Your oxygen supply is limited. Demonstrate your physiological response. Anna understood. She closed her eyes and consciously triggered her sympathetic nervous system, the ancient fight-or-flight response that had kept her species alive on a planet that actively tried to kill them. Her heart rate spiked to 180. Adrenaline flooded her system. The holographic display showed her pupils dilating, blood vessels constricting in her extremities and digestive system while dilating in her muscles. her liver dumping glucose into her bloodstream. She squeezed again. The cylinder cracked. The room fell silent. 1,847 newtons, Kivin read from the display, nearly double her baseline. And this, cadets, is a human operating at perhaps 40% of their true emergency capacity. Humans possess a biological limiters that prevent them from accessing their full strength to protect their own tissues from the damage they could inflict on themselves. In life-threatening situations, these limiters disengage. Anna released the broken cylinder, her breathing still controlled despite the chemical cocktail coursing through her veins. She'd done this before, in private, testing her own capabilities, but never in front of an audience. Additionally, Kivin continued, warming to his lecture, humans possess redundant systems that would be considered over-engineering in any sane evolutionary path. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, a liver that regenerates, a brain that can reroute functions around damaged areas. They have survived with arrows through their skulls, multiple gunshot wounds, and catastrophic blood loss that would kill most species instantly. A Mithran cadet, whose species evolved on a peaceful garden world, raised a question. But what of intelligence? Surely such a violent evolution compromised their cognitive development. Kivin's translator somehow conveyed amusement. Cadet Chen, what is your IQ equivalent in standard cognitive assessment terms? 142, sir, Anna replied quietly. The human average is 100 by their own scale, which converts to approximately 115 in our assessment. Cadet Chen is above her species average, but not extraordinarily so. Humans didn't sacrifice intelligence for physical prowess, they optimized for both. Their brains consume 20% of their body's energy budget, more than almost any other known species. Kivin pulled up another hologram, a human endurance hunter tracking prey across vast distances. Earth's gravity is 1.3 times Academy standard. Its atmosphere contains a corrosive oxidizer, oxygen, at concentrations that would be toxic to 60% of known species. Humans evolved to weaponize this toxin, using it to fuel a metabolism that can sustain activity levels that would exhaust most species within minutes. They are persistence predators, he continued. They cannot outrun their prey over short distances. Instead, they chase it for hours, sometimes days, until it collapses from exhaustion. Meanwhile, the human sweat cooling system and efficient cardiovascular network allow them to continue, relentless, inevitable. Anna shifted uncomfortably. She'd never heard her species described quite like this, as monsters wearing civilized faces. But here is what makes humans truly dangerous, Kivin said, his tone shifting to something almost reverent. They pair these physical capabilities with abstract thinking, pattern recognition, and social cooperation. A lone human is dangerous. Coordinated humans are a force of nature. They don't simply fight, they strategize, adapt, and innovate in real time. He turned to address Anna directly. Cadet Chen, you represent the 0.001% of your species selected for military service. You were chosen from 8 billion humans. What does this tell the rest of the class? Anna met his gaze steadily. That Earth's true military potential has barely been tapped, sir. Precisely. Kivin's eye stalks swept across the room. When the Galactic Council first made contact with humanity, they saw a species from a death world and assumed they would be barbarians, strong perhaps, but technologically primitive. Instead, they found a civilization that had weaponized nuclear fission, achieved spaceflight, and created artificial intelligence, all while still confined to their home system. He paused for effect. The humans had been civilized for barely 10,000 years. Most species in this room come from civilizations spanning 100,000 years or more. The implications settled over the classroom like a physical weight. Humans domesticated wolves, apex predators, and turned them into companions. They climbed to the top of their food chain despite lacking natural weapons, then invented agriculture and civilization. When their world tried to kill them with diseases, they weaponized weakened versions to create immunity. When they needed to go faster, they harnessed controlled explosions. When they wanted to fly, they bent physics to their will. Kiven's hologram shifted one final time, showing human soldiers in modern combat armor, a seamless integration of biology and technology. So yes, Cadet Chen appears fragile, but never forget, she evolved on a planet that forged her ancestors in a crucible of constant lethality. Underneath that unassuming exterior is a persistence predator, an endurance hunter, a problem solver capable of extreme violence tempered by equally extreme compassion. He looked at Anna with something approaching respect. Humans are the galaxy's newest deathworld species, and unlike most such species, they arrived not as conquerors, but as seekers of cooperation and knowledge. Remember this, cadets. The measure of a species is not simply in what they can destroy, but in what they choose to build instead. Anna returned to her seat amid silent stares. She'd spent months trying to blend in, to be just another cadet. Now every being in the room saw her differently, not as weak, but as deliberately restrained. As the lecture concluded and cadets filed out, several approached Anna with newfound wariness and respect. The Quellian who'd called her fragile offered a formal apology, which she accepted with grace. Later, as Anna walked the station's corridors alone, she reflected on Kiven's words. Earth had indeed been a death world, a planet of extremes that forged humanity in fire and ice, famine and plague, predators and prey. But it had also taught humans something the lecture hadn't fully captured: empathy born from shared suffering, cooperation forged in collective survival, and the understanding that true strength meant choosing when not to use violence. She smiled slightly. Let the galaxy see humans as deathworld beasts if they wished, as long as they also saw that humanity had chosen to be something more.